Hey, it's Mr. Newton, school counselor at Western Hills High School, and I'm going to show you how to apply to the University of Cincinnati at the Blue Ash campus today. So, open up a Google um, page and type in ucblueash.edu. You could Google UC Blue Ash, you can get there a million different ways. So once you're there, you can click on admissions. Admissions is the department that kind of facilitates every potential student's application process. So this is where you would start on any campus talking to admissions. So you can start reading about lots of things as it relates to UC Blue Ash, but um, in the spirit of time, I'm going to be a little more direct today. So down here in admissions information, there's a button that says apply now. Click on that. Step one, apply for admission. That's what we're trying to do. So it says there's two ways to apply. You can apply with the UC web portal or with the Common App. So if you know that you are thinking you're just going to go to UC Blue Ash and that's where you're not really trying to get accepted at their main campus in Clifton, then using their website, UC web portal, is perfect. And it's a lot more simple. So that's what I would recommend. But if your grades, GPA, and ACT score are a lot higher or pretty good, and I've informed you that you probably have a shot to be accepted at main campus, and you really want to pursue that, you want the bigger campus, and you think you might want to even live on campus, then this might be the application for you to do. But for today's video, I'm going to show you just the basic one to apply to UC Blue Ash specifically. You could even be a student who plans to use the Common App, but just for UC Blue Ash, you just wanted to apply using their simple application. That's fine too. So we're going to click on this, and you are a first-time user, so you have to actually create an account when you get started today. So do that. Put in your email. A professional email is important that you put in. So if it says like something that you wouldn't want your grandma to know, then probably it isn't professional. You don't want to be silly either. So just make it your name or just something that just is professional. All right. Um, so put in your first name, last name, and your date of birth, and make sure all the spelling stuff is right. Click continue. It's going to say this is what you're signing up for. Feel free to read through that if you'd like to. Accept. All right, so it says it sent me a temporary PIN that I'm going to need to use to log in officially. So I'll go to that email address that I just typed in. So here's the email, University of Cincinnati. I'm going to open that up. It says here, activate account. When requested for a password, enter the following PIN. So I'm going to copy and paste this PIN. Copy. I'm also going to click activate account because I want that to happen. Okay, so it brought me back here. Great, perfect. I copied that PIN on the last page. Now I'm going to paste it. All right. So now again, it wants me to put my birth date in to make sure that it's really me that they're talking to. All right, I'm good. I'm in. Now I make a password. Look, it says it has to have at least one letter, one capital letter, one number, be at least 12 characters, and you're going to have to enter that same password twice. So make sure you do that. Put something in that you think satisfies that. Like I already didn't satisfy that, so I have to keep thinking. Yeah, I got one. All right, set the password once you get them matching. That might be the hardest part of this whole application. So, which app should I choose? Well, you don't have any yet, so you need to click on this button that says Start New Application. Yep, create an application. Okay. Oh, here it is. So, are you doing College Credit Plus or the 2021 application? You're doing the 2021 application. College Credit Plus is something that high school students can do with that university, but you're not focusing on that right now. You're doing the application. So click that, create application, and now open the application. It's telling you that this application is in progress starting today. You want to open it. So we're glad you're here. We have a few questions to ask you to get started. Tell us about your educational background. I am still in high school, or I've graduated, but I haven't taken any college classes since I graduated, or I've graduated high school and I've taken college classes. So you are going to choose the first one if you're a high school senior applying there right now. At which of the three campuses are you planning to begin your studies? So this is an opportunity for you to kind of indicate what you're thinking. Um, Blue Ash is a lot closer than Claremont is, but we can have a discussion about Claremont if you're thinking. And then if you came here by accident and you wanted to apply to Uptown, it would probably end up telling you that it's required to use the Common App to apply to Uptown. But again, today we're just going to focus on Blue Ash. International conditional admission. So if you were a student from overseas or from a foreign country, you would say, yes, I need this support, but no, that's not us. So go ahead and choose no, I meet the English ability admissions requirement. Okay, if you have a question about that, let me know. And the term that you're going to be applying to is going to be the fall of 2021. So next fall, next August. All right, and click continue. All right, personal backgrounds. So you start putting in your information. Things that have these asterisks right here are required. So make sure you don't miss any of those. I recommend that you fill it all out completely, but if you choose not to fill out things that don't have asterisks, it wouldn't stop you from applying. So read all of the prompts carefully as you do this. So if you live at an apartment or at an address that has more of a multi-layered address to where you have to put a couple lines like apartment 23 or whatever it might be, go ahead and put that information in here. You might end up getting a prompt in a little bit that says there's an issue with how you put your address in. I wouldn't worry about that at this point. Just a box will pop up and you can click the button that says skip validation. Okay. Um, or you can sit here and try to fix it. But I would just recommend that you click the skip validation button if that does pop up. All right, so for mailing address, I'm going to say it's the same as my permanent, and it should autofill when you do that. Here it says optional, so I'm not going to worry about it. Telephone numbers, at least tell them your mobile number, right? So they have a way to get a hold of you or text you with updates. I'm seeing more asterisks, so I need to make sure I fill those out. Do you identify as a gender other than your legal sex? Again, just to be transparent with them, unless you just have a major concern. And then you and I can talk about that at a date soon. Dual citizenship. So if you're from another country, um, then and you have United States citizenship and another country, so you want to indicate that here. So it's also saying if you chose the United States as your primary, don't put that down again. He just wants to know if you were a foreign international student. Excuse me. you'd want to indicate the other country that you believe you're a citizen. But if you, most people will just put United States there, and then enter your social. So I just entered my social, and now moving down to the race question. All right, I'm not Hispanic. Okay, fill this out according to you. Don't just copy what I've been putting in here. So may they text you? Sure, they can text me. Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? Most people will say no to that, um, who are students applying. Accessibility resources. This is a good question. So if there are any type of accommodations, if you had an IEP in high school or a 504 plan or some other type of accommodation for sight, for language, for being able to hear or whatnot, please mark that you'd like to um, also get information on um, accommodations. And so by clicking yes, you get some phone numbers. These can be really helpful to you. We want you to be successful. Be humble. If there's been things in your past that we've done to help you as a high school student, really, really try to pursue that same help in college. So you'll want to click yes to that if you wanted some information on getting accommodations. Okay. If you're not thinking that is needed for you at this point, then don't worry about it. Don't click that. Okay. And if you do click it, it doesn't look like it's going to let me unclick it. So not like it's a big deal, but if you don't want that click view, don't click it. All right. So your languages. It went ahead and defaulted to English for me. That's the only language I speak. Now it wants to know about my mother and father. So you're going to want to enter that information for yourself. I don't see asterisks here, so I'm going to try to see if I can do it without filling it out. None of my family attended the University of Cincinnati. Do you have any siblings who attended UC? So if you don't, if none of your siblings went there, then don't worry about that. Obviously, siblings are your brother or your sister. Do you want to put your religious preference? No, I don't really want to on there. High school graduation information. Did or will you graduate from an Ohio high school? Yes. Okay. So now this is asking about your disciplinary information. So if you have any criminal records that upon a simple um, criminal background search could be found, you're going to have to indicate yes here. Um, Otherwise, you could be put yourself in some bad situations if you lie, right? Lying is not the best policy in most cases, right? So, but most people here will say no. I've not had any major disciplinary issues that have resulted in a criminal um, thing. So, like, have you ever pled guilty or been convicted of a criminal offense other than a traffic violation? So, if you've had some speeding tickets or something minor, you could still say yes. I'm sorry, you could still say no. Note that you are not required to answer yes to this question or provide an explanation. If the criminal adjudication or conviction has been expunged, sealed, annulled, pardoned, destroyed, erased, impounded, or otherwise by a court to be kept confidential. So if you've had those things happen, then you can still say no. Okay. So click no again there. Now it wants to know about your residency information. So if you live in Ohio and you have for at least over a year, then you can get in-state tuition, which is a good thing. It's usually more affordable. You can click here and learn more about in-state tuition, but most of you will say yes. Are you a resident of Ohio? If you've lived here your whole life or lived here over a year, then you are. So this is where you want to tell them how long you've lived in Ohio, just so they have a general idea. You might say 18 years or however old you are. So just be honest and transparent about that. I'll say 32 years. Do you have a driver's license with a state identification card? I do. State of issuance, Ohio. So I'm going to see if I can leave that blank. The questions in this section pertain to the individual who would qualify you for in-state status. at this college? Who has provided the personal household financial support for the past 12 months? For the past 12 months, who has been responsible for providing your personal or household financial support? So you want to put who your guardian is here. I'm going to put self, but if you're living with your mother or father or another legal guardian, you're going to want to indicate that information. So let's see if it lets me move on. Okay. So I told him that I have a Ohio driver's license, but I didn't have to put the information in about it. So academic history. So this is where you're going to put um, information in regards to failure to list all previous high schools. So they want to know your high schools here. So if you've attended other high schools, click on add institution below and begin typing the name of your current or most recently attended high school. So you want to start with recent, and then you want to list backwards any other high schools that you've attended. They don't want to know middle schools. They don't want to know about your elementary, but if you've attended other high schools, they do want to know that. So add institutions, Western Hills should be found in here. University High School, there it is. So the dates attended, if you've been here all 4 years, then you'll want to put that you came in 2016, in August of 2016, and then to present. So now it is almost October. Level of study, that was your high school, right? So make sure you fill this out accurately. So if that was the only high school you've ever attended, then you're done on this page. But make sure that you're thorough. It says failure to list all previous high schools, colleges may delay the processing of your application and or financial aid. So I'm telling them, in all honesty, what my background was, even though that wasn't really true for me. Make sure you're putting it in as it is true for you. All right, so now they want you to start giving them some ideas on what you think you might want to study at the University of Cincinnati Blue Ash. Okay, if you plan to major in pre-pharmacy, skip this section and go on to the next. So if you don't see your option here, I'll say I'm not interested in these, sure, but start giving them some idea. So what majors do you want to study? So look through these. This is even another opportunity for you to start researching what some of these could look like. If you see this word says pre, because Blue Ash is kind of like a community college, um, because it is a branch of UC Uptown's campus, that a lot of times you will start a program at UC Blue Ash that gives you a background, a general understanding of that major, and it might end up concluding at Uptown in a couple years. So that's what this pre um, thing means as you're seeing that. So I don't see anything here that just says undecided. So I'm believing it, if you just leave it blank, that it'll do that. But this is important. If you really know your major, you're going to want to put it down here because this is when they're starting to compile the data on who has said they want to be in this program and who has said it first, so that if they get too many people focusing on one major, they're going to have to, once they get to a certain number, they'll stop accepting certain students into a program. So the very top program I want to get into is chemistry, maybe, right? So make sure you put that. If chemistry is your second choice or communications is your second choice, then indicate that there. But you can list up to three, um, because I'm pretending like I don't know what I want right now. So I'm going to leave it blank and continue. And now it's just saying I certify that all the information that I typed or entered or submitted into this application is accurate. And they want you to type your signature here. So you're going to put your name. I like to include my middle initial. It makes it look more fancy. So please type your full legal name. Well, let's actually make it completely full. Let's just make sure I'm answering it 100% accurate. That's my full legal name, and I'm clicking confirm. So now it's going to tell you if there was any issues in your application. All right, so start clicking on these. Now it's saying that I at least need to choose one major. So by clicking on that, excuse me, I'll tell them that maybe I'm interested, like I said, in chemistry. So choose at least one, or it's not going to let you submit the application. Things we're learning as we fill this out. It wants to verify that you understand that everything you entered again is accurate. Residency, please add the approximate date of your driver's license when it was issued. So if I would have said no, that I don't have a driver's license, I don't think that would have been a deal breaker. But since I said yes, it wants to have a general idea when I applied for it. So, or when it was issued. So if you got one recently, you're gonna on your driver's license itself, there's a date. So you're gonna want to put that date in. All right. Like I said, if you do something wrong when you're filling out this application, it'll let you know. All right. So did all that. I'm gonna go ahead and click review again. That's over here on the left because it's wanting me to go through all the things, and we don't need to. I think there was one more thing it wanted me to do. It says academic history. If you haven't already, please make sure you add your Ohio high school to this academic history section of your application. Well, I did know that I did do that, so you don't have to worry about that. I know I added it, Western Hills High School, but you want to make sure that you put your high schools on there in order of the one that you attended most recently, which is us. So now it's just saying that they need to also receive your high school transcript. And if you've had any CCP or AP classes where you've gotten college credits, you're going to want to get those sent to UC Blue Ash as well, and I'll work with you on that. And they also want to receive your ACT scores, SAT scores, or other equivalents. So you can work with me on that as well. So for now, we'll click Submit Application. I acknowledge everything is accurate and true. It's processing. All right. Now I have a portal. It's saying that I owe $50, and it says that they're still waiting for my transcript to come. So you don't have to worry about this $50 fee. Your application is submitted. They have it. And when you send your transcripts to them, they will waive that fee. So don't worry about that. Please don't pay this, okay? Unless you just have tons of money. And in that case, please hook me up. All right, so next thing you're going to do, and upon clicking that submit button, you should also get an email that says you successfully submitted your application. So the next step that you're going to do, you can actually click log out for now. And if you want to ever come back and check and see if they have made an admissions decision for you, you can come back to the UC Blue Ash website and go to log in. So you get to this by simply going back to that UC page that we started at, ucblueash.edu. You can go to admissions. Again, you can go to apply now, apply now, the UC web portal, and I'm logging in because I have an application already. So I would use my email address that I used to log in, that I used to create the account, and the password that I use. So write down your password so you don't forget it. If you do forget it, you can try to retrieve it. All right, so now it's showing me that I have an application that's been submitted. And if I wanted to check it or update it, I can do that here. You can open the application, all this stuff. And so it's still showing me, that I have a fee and that they need my transcripts. So how to do that? What you're gonna do is if you can go into Clever, if you're good with Clever, that's one route to get into Naviance to tell me. So I don't know if you just saw what I just did, but you'll come to clever.com, log in as a student, and go through the prompts. That's one way to go about it. Once you get in, I like to use this little search bar at the top, and I can just type in Naviance, right? So then click single sign-on and go that route. If that doesn't work, come let me know, email me, and I'll try to help you, okay? You won't see this when you log in, you will see a page that looks like kind of like this, exactly like this, except it'll have your name up here. Real quick, another way to get into this page, if your Clever doesn't work and you don't want to wait around to figure out how to use Clever, if you type into a new Google page, Western Hills High School, you hit enter, you'll find our website right here. So click that. If it takes you to another school that isn't our school, um, that's not our school. So don't click those links. Make sure you find this one. And up here you can see the actual web address. So you're going to click on Naviance up here on the top. Sorry about my cough. All right, up here on the top it says Naviance. You'll click there, and now it's going to say enter your school's name, city, or zip code. Our school zip code is 45238. Now it should give you some options. Western Hills University High School. I'm the student, and continue with Clever or try to log in using your stuff. Okay? Hopefully that works for you. Again, you'll come to this page. From here, you are going to click on I'm applying to. Again, you're doing this because this is how we send your transcript and fee waiver. So once you click colleges I'm applying to, there's a big red plus button over here. Click that, and this is where you start telling me where you're applying. So you can type in University of Cincinnati, Blue Ash. Actually, there we go. I just need to type in University of Cincinnati, and it's usually on here. I think because I've used this as an example already, it's not letting me. Oh, there it is. Okay, so just type in Blue Ash and it'll pop up. There we go. Perfect. Don't worry about the app type, but for I'll submit my application, this is important. You need to tell it if you use the Common App or direct to the institution. So we did not use the Common App. We did the one direct to the institution in our example. But make sure that yours matches what you've done. Now I'm going to click I've submitted this application, and I'm going to click add and request transcript, not just add application. I'm going to click the add and request transcript. What type of transcript are you requesting? Click all of these boxes. It's kind of going to prompt me as your counselor to send them your transcript as their updates throughout the year. So I'll send them the one right now, send them the one at mid-year, and then at the very end of the year, I'll send your final, which is kind of like the most important one. So don't worry about clicking the SAT or ACT box, and then where you send the transcripts, don't even worry about that. So just click request and finish. So on your page, you should see a box that shows the UC Blue Ash name, showing that you have applied. On mine, because I'm just a demo student, it doesn't show up on here. Okay, but yours should show up, and when that happens, you are done for now. With applying to UC Blue Ash and with asking for me to send your transcript to them. So I will send your transcript, and I will send a fee waiver that should get that $50 fee waived, and we'll work together at a later date to get your ACT score, SAT scores sent there as well. So for my purposes, you're kind of done. One last step would be to go back to the email address that you used when you applied and go to, you should have an email from UC Blue Ash saying that you've successfully submitted your application. So open up your email. A lot of you are going to use your Cincinnati PS email address. So go there and you'll see this email. But it's telling me that they've received my application submission and they've begun processing it. So I would like you to forward this to me. That way I can keep track of where everybody's applying and we can celebrate that. So open up the email, and to forward, there's a little button here that is an arrow to the right. That's a forward button. Click that, and I want you to email it to newtonb@cps-k12.org. When you do that, that is how I'll know you followed through with this assignment today. So let me know if you have any questions. Other than that, you're going to click send, and now your message has been sent, and I have received the application saying that you got your thing submitted. So good job. Do that, and you'll get your points for applying if you're in my senior seminar class. Other than that, you are on your way to getting accepted at the University of Cincinnati Blue Ash. Congratulations, your first college application has been successfully submitted, and we'll go from there. At this point, you're going to want to keep checking your emails to see if they start emailing you more information. You're going to want to read those emails. I've even heard that some universities have some crazy software that tracks the amount of times that you open up their emails and the amount of time that you um, stay viewing their emails, and they factor all that into deciding on which students are most interested in our school. So please check your emails that you receive from colleges that you apply to if you're really interested in them. Okay. Other than that, give me a call, a text, an email if you have questions, or come see me, and we'll go from there. Have a great day. Bye bye.